This guy just came back from Cancun, everyone. Mr. Luke just had a good vacation. If you can see the tan, here he is,
Yeah.
vibing out. Do you feel relaxed coming back into things?
Yes, bro. I needed a vacation after that year. I feel like just like rejuvenated, you know? I kind of completely went off the map for that entire week. I decided to take the full week off, no social media, nothing, just like completely refresh my mind. And that was much needed. Like much needed. I barely looked at my phone. Um, and I just lived my life, man. Soaked up the
Dude.
sun, playing in the pool.
Yes, exactly. Like just living life, like actually living, like being present
Yeah.
in the moment. I'm very happy for you, bro. It's
It's
awesome.
crazy, especially like for me and you, our jobs, like we're on our phones so much and like scrolling social media so much. So you need that time to just turn it off. 'Cause your brains are always running.
It's very true. Yeah, you're always thinking like, oh, client check-in, this, client messages, update program, post. Like, dude, it's like you're always like 24/7, your mind's racing. So,
Even when we're not working, we're like our brains are running
yeah,
just
it's
because
like
like we're
thinking of
scrolling,
them.
we're doing something.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So that's why it's nice that you're able to take a step back, especially after the lengthy season of 7 shows and just going back to back to back. I'm very happy that you're able to go there, be with some good friends, eat some good food, have some good company, reset, like actually enjoy the trip and live in the moment. And then you actually come back refreshed, right? Like, do you feel coming back? Obviously, there's a bit of, you're catching up and things that can be a bit stressful.
Yeah.
But aside from that, do you feel refreshed and more motivated to get back into your routine and just continue crushing it?
Oh, 100%. Even when I was there, like by the fourth day, I was just looking forward to come home, get back into routine and kind of like live on that grind again.
Mm, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you disrupt your routine intentionally, it gives you a bit of space and then you actually end up missing it. Because it's nice. It's nice to take a break. And then you come back, you're like, wow, I'm more fired up than ever. Like fatigue has dropped. I'm just feeling very, like, I have this sense of clarity now. Sometimes you come back with new found ideas, like inspiration. It gives you a sense of clarity that is so underrated. And it's nice to have like periods where you push, 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 and then you pull back and then you come right back in. It's so important.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
happy for that.
also like it just gives you a sense of more motivation. Like while you're there, something about being in a different country and like living a different lifestyle just gives you something to be more motivated for because it gives you new goals to look forward to. Like I want to do that more often. I want to live that kind of life. I want to move somewhere where it's warm all year round. So like that's for me. So I come back and I'm like, damn, like I have more things to work towards.
That's so cool.
So I got shit to get done. You know what I mean?
Yes, brother. No, exactly. Because you're having glimpses of what you want your future to look like and the lifestyle you want to live. And so you're like, it gives you that perspective where you've tasted it and you're like, I want this more often. So I'm going to come back and work very hard and just continue to work so I can make that my reality. So I totally know what you mean. It's like you go, you get perspective, you come back, you're like, yep, we're going to hustle now. Let's do it. New goals, new
Yeah.
motivation, foot on the gas. Let's send it. So. That's awesome to hear, man. It's so important, so important. And now man's back into routine, training going well, nutrition back in check.
Oh yeah, all that back in check. I feel good, especially those last few days. Like eating, it's nice to have like the option of doing like an all you can eat thing, you know, like eating off, being more flexible, having some drinks. But then it's even nicer to get back into routine and kind of feeling you forget how good it feels to eat normally. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
And your gut, man. Sometimes it's just the
Oh,
food, the digestion, and you're like, oh man, I just miss my Whole
yeah.
Foods
Yeah.
or the oils and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I can
Big.
relate, bro. I
I
can
had my
relate.
first creamy last night since being back.
Hit the
Unreal.
spot?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you add
Yeah.
toppings to it or do you just have it regular, plain?
Oh yeah, I no, I always had toppings.
You do?
Yeah, it depends what kind of flavor I'm using. So if I'm doing like cookies and cream, I get the Oreo thins, I'll add those in.
Those slap.
If I'm
Brother,
doing a chocolate peanut butter flavor, I'll get the Reese's Minis. I'll throw those in there. And then I have a coconut, you know, Limitless Pharma, this like coconut island flavor. So it's just like
Yep.
a coconut flavor. I'll either do like blueberries or like coconut, like the shavings in there.
That
Yeah.
slaps. That
Yeah.
slaps. Yeah, I'm so glad you got one, man. Because you put me on the waffle too. You were always gonna get a creamy, but what I want you to try is look what I did. So I had my creamy on top of the waffle,
Bro, I was thinking the same thing. It's so
right?
genius. You can make, you know, ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like you can like do that. Like that's good. What flavor protein or ice cream is that?
So what I do is it's PVL chocolate peanut butter, like peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter by PVL, and then I put sugar-free Jello, the chocolate one, the fat-free. Then I
Yeah.
put cocoa powder in there. I put some stevia, and then Greek yogurt, and I put xanthan gum, and then I mix it
Yes.
up with Fairlife milk. So the Fairlife chocolate milk. Then I just put it on top of the Flourish chocolate pancake powder with a bit of natural peanut butter as well, then some sugar-free maple syrup, and then I just put it on top of the waffle. And I was like, dude, this is phenomenal. This is actually phenomenal. It was so good to end the
It,
night. And the balance or the contrast between the hot waffle and the cool
yeah.
ice cream, it just hits the spot, honestly.
It's a genius idea. I'm so happy you did that because I was honestly thinking the same thing.
We're always on the same wavelength, bro. We're
You know
always just
what?
like
There's so many
sushi.
things.
Yeah.
Sushi, we're going right like after this, right?
This guy, I'm gonna come all the way to St. Catharines. Let's do it. That's funny. But you're
Uh,
gonna try that, eh?
oh yeah, 100%. I
Uh,
mean, there's so many things we can do. It's ice cream at the end of the day. There's so many things we can do with it.
I'm telling you, man. This
That meal alone must have been like over 70 grams of protein.
oh, easy. Easy.
Yeah.
I think it was because I also, but I was crazy. I added half a scoop of whey to that when I didn't need to. So I got even more to the flourish pancake mix. I didn't need
Oh
to,
my God.
but I just added
Jeez.
half a scoop. Dude, it was
That's like
like eight,
100 grams of protein.
I think it was like 88 or something.
That's crazy.
It was insane macros, man. But absolutely delicious, filling. So that's the thing. I wish people knew. Like, they're like, how do you eat waffles and lose weight? How do you eat this and like still stay on track? It's like, dude, it's not the food itself. You know what I mean? It's like you have a calorie range you operate within, and then you're good. Like, if it
Also,
fits your
like any
macros, not
any
always.
unhealthy food you can think of out there, there's definitely a healthy alternative that you can have, like
Agreed.
macro wise.
100%. And even like some of those like unhealthy foods, if you look at a burger, right? What makes a burger unhealthy? Seriously, if we break it down, if I go to the store and I get potatoes, right? Let's say I have hypothetically, if I get potatoes and I mash them up, right? Solid. I get extra lean ground beef, I put it on my plate. I get some whole grain buns, and let's say I have a whole grain bread on my plate, and then I get lettuce and other things in there. That's literally mashed potatoes with extra lean ground beef, like whole grain bread, and something else, and a salad. But what if I said I don't want to have mashed potatoes? I'm gonna take those same potatoes, I'm gonna chop them up, put them in the air fryer, cut them up so they look like fries. Okay, I'm gonna take that extra lean ground beef, mash it up into a patty, grill it on the pan. Now I have a patty. Take that same whole grain bun, put the patty inside, put the veggies inside, and now you have a burger and fries, bro. If we've actually just
Yeah.
deconstructed a burger and fries, and you can have it in a different way. But it's just that stigma because, yeah, when you go out and you eat, there's a bunch of oils they add to it, they add extra sodium. And so things like that, if you have that in in copious amounts, then it can be problematic. But if you actually look at it at its core and you deconstruct a burger and fries and you make it at home, dude, you've literally just changed the format that you're consuming the meal. Instead of
Yeah.
having mashed potatoes or a baked potato with whole grain bread, you're literally just deciding to have the opposite. Like,
No, if you
it's
do it right,
just,
you can literally eat cheeseburgers every single day and it'll fit your diet.
yeah,
It's all about the ingredient choices too, because you can make
facts,
burgers at home the wrong way. I mean,
facts.
like that, and that's where people get it wrong because people will make burgers at home thinking exactly what you said, like it can't fit your diet, like it's healthy, but then they get all the ingredients wrong, right? There's 250 calorie buns and there's like 120 calorie buns. There's full fat cheese that's like 160 calories. There's zero fat cheese that's 30 calories. There's medium ground beef, which is like extremely high in fat. It's not even medium, it's just like fat.
Oil.
Let's be honest. And then there's extra lean ground beef, which honestly isn't even extra lean. It's still like a little bit of fat, but it's still leaner than the medium ground beef. And then it's those substitutions that actually make the burger lower calorie and able to fit your goals.
Hit the nail on the head, man. You're so right.
And then you just throw in a bunch of veggies, whatever you want on it, and it just adds volume for like almost no calories.
Thank you. I wish more people knew that, right? It's just like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's the name of the game, right? But it's good that we're talking about this. So you guys just understand you can do that if you want to in moderation, okay?
If
But
there's anybody that knows about low calorie cheeseburgers, it's this guy right
this guy's the
here.
king of IFFYM. He knows he
And
has a
burgers.
bunch of recipes. Yeah, and burgers are his favorite food. So if you need
Yeah.
any recipes, this is the guy to talk to. Don't be like me who was eating tuna, rice cakes, and broccoli, like crushing up the rice cakes and the tuna and like come on, man. I was down bad.
Come on, but that was in prep though. That was in prep. That's different. I might have tried the same thing.
Yeah, prep down bad, man, with mustard on it. But hey, there you go. But I'm excited for today's pod.
Me too.
I'm excited for
Me
today's
too.
pod. We're, we're,
What are
we're
we
gonna
doing?
be, huh?
I said, what are we doing?
We're gonna be talking about first-time competitors, and we're gonna just be like, there's no structure to this. We're literally just gonna be talking about things we think first-time competitors should pay attention to, they should know, they should plan for, they should prepare for. Just want to give you a sort of guideline about what it's like to prep as a first-time competitor and set some expectations so that those of you who are amateurs or who have never competed or who want to compete or have the desire to compete or inclination, that you know what to expect, right? And how the journey will look. So that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for this because, especially being a first-time competitor, there's a lot of things you don't think about that you should, that you realize when you're mid-prep. And honestly, it can ruin your entire prep. Like, there's things that you don't think about that can actually stop you from competing halfway through your prep.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm curious what those are. We'll have to tap into
I don't
that.
know, I got a couple things that I can think of at the top of my head that I'll definitely like bring up during this conversation, but yeah.
Interesting.
There's
Okay.
some serious stuff that you got to think about for first time competitors. If you've competed already, you probably already know, but
Okay. No, we're definitely gonna have to dive into that specifically. I just want to know first from you, Luke. Let's talk about our own journeys.
yes.
What is one thing you wish you knew before you did your first show or before you did your first prep? Because we were all first-time competitors at one point, right? So what is one piece of advice or one thing you wish you knew before you did the prep?
I would say the number one thing that surprised me during my first prep, and I've talked about this with you before for sure, is not knowing just exactly how lean you actually have to get to step on a stage. Because there's lean and there is bodybuilding stage lean, which is a completely different thing. I thought so when I started my prep, I was 174 pounds my first prep. I thought for some reason I was gonna step on a stage between like 155, 160, closer to the 160 range. And even when I was getting to that like 160 range, I'm like, damn, like I'm pretty lean. I'm probably just like a couple pounds off from stage weight. Then coach kept decreasing calories. I'm like, oh. I guess we got a little bit more to go. You know, like I'm still like 4 weeks out or whatever. Because remember my first prep, I rushed in 7 weeks. So at this point, maybe I was like 3 weeks out, right? I'm like, damn, so I gotta get leaner. How much leaner do I gotta get? I get to 155 pounds. I'm like, okay, like this, I gotta be lean enough. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I'm seeing like obviously I got like the six pack, I got like obliques and stuff. That wasn't lean enough. I ended up going down, I think my first prep 148 pounds,
From
which
172
yes,
in 8 weeks.
yes, yeah. So I did not realize that I had to be not even like that lean, but like that weight, like I thought I was gonna weigh a lot more. So that again told me like you don't look at the weight, right? Like don't worry about the weight. It's all about the look. But again, still I didn't realize I had to be that lean, like excruciatingly painful lean is what I mean. Like you got to struggle through the diet. If you're not struggling by the end of your diet, you're probably either not lean enough or you just didn't. Yeah, you're probably just not lean enough.
Honestly, yeah. That's damn, brother. Damn, I can so agree with you. Because as you said, there's a big difference between gym lean and competitor stage lean. When the lights hit you on that stage, there's no gym
Yeah.
lighting. There's no manipulating angles. There's no using filters. What you see is
Yeah.
what you see, man. So if you are not conditioned, the stage will freaking expose you because there's no hiding. You have to get a lot leaner than you think. That's the first thing in order to be competitive. Now, if you're a first-time competitor, I know some people just want to do a show to do a show, say they have the experience, whatever. And usually the first time, for most first-time competitors, what I found is that for them, it's just about putting in the reps, right? Just getting the experience. A lot of first-time competitors don't bring physiques that are as lean. Now, it obviously depends on who their coach is, how much time they give themselves, their starting point. But generally speaking, I found that the more shows one does, the leaner of a package they get because they now understand, oh, I was rushing into a prep beforehand. I've understand my body better. My systems are better. I know how to diet better. I know how to manage my variables and my lifestyle better. But generally speaking, if you do want to be competitive, not just saying I did a show to do a show, if you want to be competitive, man, the conditioning standards, unreal. Like we're talking about whatever you think your like lean is right now, just know you're gonna have to get peeled. And that
Yeah.
means you may have to see your weight go down more than you would expect. I
Yeah.
was so naive, bro. The first time too. I was like, oh, I was 235 pounds, man. I was like a boom, inflamed buffalo, water buffalo, bro. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna be on stage. Like if I just lose, stage weight like 20 pounds or like 25 pounds, I'll be Gucci from 235. Not even, bro. Not even. I was like 25, I'll be good. 30, I'll be good. Let me get to like 205. Not even close.
No.
At the end of my first season, bro, I was 192. And that still wasn't, my conditioning still wasn't that impressive. So you have to get freaking peeled.
So you dropped over 40 pounds your first prep,
45 to be exact. And I
and
was
how
like, okay, that was decent conditioning.
how long was your prep for that?
I started in October 2023 to December 2023, 2 months, 8 weeks, like a cleanup phase where I dropped
Yeah.
15 pounds. So if we want to say
Okay.
pre-prep, but the actual prep was like 10 months, man. Obviously with one diet break in between, like 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
because I did 4 shows. So
Yeah.
throughout that whole period, it was a total of 45 pounds lost. Now,
Because
mind
that's
you,
another. Sorry,
go
keep
ahead.
going.
No, 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 go ahead.
I was gonna say that's another important thing to keep in mind your first prep because there's like I remember hearing so much about everyone's doing these 12-week preps. 12-week preps. I mean, 12 weeks for everybody. No matter what your starting point is, you can get it done in 12 weeks. That's not the case. First of all, you should make sure that you're in a good spot before you even start a prep. Don't be like if you if you're I'm gonna just say if you're just like a fat ass before prep, you're not gonna have a good prep, bro. You're not. You gotta clean it up before even starting prep. You probably gotta take some time before even thinking about starting a prep.
Fact.
You gotta make sure you're like, I mean, I think the sweet spot is for naturals. Sweet spot's between like 20 to 30 pounds above stage weight. Any more than that, it's gonna be a hell of a hard time to get stage ready in the amount of time that you need. Again, like 12 weeks, probably not enough prep time to prep for almost anybody. Closer to 16 to 20 weeks, that's probably the better range. But again, if you're not lean enough going into a prep, you're gonna struggle. It's gonna be a hard time. So those
Well
two in
said.
mind, especially right now, when we've talked about this before in previous episodes, conditioning is getting rewarded so much more, especially at amateur levels. Not just at amateur levels, but like amateur and pro levels. But conditioning stands out a lot more now on stage than it used to.
Hmm. It does.
So
It's being
yeah,
prioritized. You're so right. So those two things. Number one is like you're gonna have to get leaner than you think and then give yourself time. I couldn't agree with you
yes.
more. So many people come from a peak off-season physique and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do a prep in 8 weeks. It's like delusional. Delusional. If you are not lean already and you don't have a very low body fat settling point, if you're someone who's sits at like your hormones are good, your recovery is good, your training's good. There's some people who have that different body fat range where they feel good and perform good. And for some people, they can hold 10% and they have like no symptoms of diet fatigue. It's just so
Mhm.
crazy. But for people who are already lean, like, yeah, they could get away with a 12-week prep, but still, you should be advanced, man. If you're pulling something off like that, like you should know your body very well and you should have a ton of reps in. Now, obviously, there's a ton of nuance here and it depends on the individual, but generally speaking, I'm with you, man. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. So if you're a first-time competitor, give yourself time. And even before you prep, I really like what Luke said. You shouldn't be thinking about a prep if you don't have, in my opinion, previous fat loss experience, like good fat loss experience.
Yeah.
Right? Because you need to have locked in your systems. You should know how to diet, how to stay consistent with your nutrition, what are your food choices, how to manage your lifestyle, how to go about things. So having previous fat loss experience and not just general fat loss experience, previous successful fat loss experience is something that is so valuable for people who do a prep. Because usually the first time you do a fat loss phase, should not be the first time you do a prep. There are no
No.
hard rules, but for some people it is. And that's fine. If they have good guidance, that's totally cool. But generally speaking, for those who want to be competitive in it, usually the first time your first prep should not be your first fat loss phase. So if you have previous fat loss experience, you understand, okay, then you hop into the prep and you're good. But do not do these 8 to 12 week preps and then you rush it, you lose a ton of muscle. Like you make the process a lot more miserable than it actually has to be. Like it can be very fulfilling. And then they have this mindset where they're like, it just wasn't for me, man. It was so hard. It's not good. Well, what did you expect? You gave yourself 8 weeks to get lean. Of course, you're gonna have to suffer and like diet like that. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if your body fat's super high.
Yeah. Like for anyone that hasn't competed before, I know that you've heard that competing is hard and getting dieting to that level is hard,
Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm
but
just
it
gonna
is
go into the washroom.
okay, yeah. But it is actually extremely hard to get to that level of leanness. I mean, you can't, just like Manini just said, you can't do one fat loss phase for your first time and just expect to compete. You should already have that experience under your belt because you should already know what to expect when it comes to getting lean. If you are, let's just say, like if you're well overweight right now, you should not be considering competing until you actually get to some sort of level of lean, um, and actually have like a good starting point to start a prep. That being said, it's also extremely important to make sure you have a coach, especially if this is your first time. Nobody, in my opinion, and I'm sure Munini would agree with this, nobody should start a prep and go into their first show all alone because you need someone else to have that eye and give you that guidance leading into that show. What I was just saying, Munene, is that like it's also important, especially for your first time competing, that you have a coach because especially if it's your first time competing, you can't push yourself to that level of leanness by yourself.
Very
You
well said.
don't because you see yourself differently in the mirror than others see you.
It's true. You're not objective. And especially your first time, if you don't know what to expect, you don't know what the process entails. Maybe you've just heard a few people say a few things. You have a couple buddies who've maybe done some shows, or you just watch a few videos. Like you really don't know what it's like until you've done it. And you will not be objective. And you could make changes and shots that just calls that are just not correct or not conducive to the goal. So I agree. Getting guidance. I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people have the mindset where, or I just want to do it by myself so I can say I did it, so I can show myself I can do it by myself. Like why?
Yeah,
Like I don't get that. Like do you want the process to be good or do you want to make a like struggle? Like
yeah.
seriously, having a
No,
coach is so underrated, man.
and
Especially if
this is
you're a first-time
coming
competitor.
exactly, and this is coming from coaches. Like me and you, we would never go into a show coaching ourselves.
Hell
So like,
no.
why should anybody else even consider that, especially doing it their first time?
Yeah. We're talking about first-timers here. Exactly. Dude, even if I wasn't a first-timer, just because I can doesn't mean I should. You
Yeah.
know? Think about it, the stress, the lack of objectivity. You need to know your body extremely well, and you have to be able to separate emotion from logic and separate subjectivity from objectivity. But at the end of the day, if you're a first timer, get guidance. You know, the fastest way to get to where you want to go is to look at someone who's already walked the walk and seek out their guidance. Simple. That's
Yeah.
mentorship. Like someone who's already been through it themselves and has done it successfully and has maybe taken other people through that successfully, get some help. Like, you know what I mean? Don't just jump into a prep and be like, I'm gonna do it. The amount of stories I've heard, dude, it's just crazy, bro. So
Yeah, like
getting good guidance is so important for a first-time competitor. That's like one of the most underrated ones. So we've talked about
I
time,
would
like
say,
give yourself time. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I would say I would agree with you with exactly what you just said,
Yeah,
especially if you want to take it seriously. Because
that's
it's
the
one
thing.
thing if you just want to step on stage just to, have that experience, if it was just a goal of yours, you don't really care about winning or anything, that's a different story. But if you actually want to take it seriously and show up the best and like go to win the show, then yeah, you need guidance and you need time.
Well, exactly. Time, guidance, and a previous fat loss experience. That's what we've talked about. Those would be ideal. Like previous fat loss experience is ideal scenario. Is it mandatory? No, but like it's very ideal. Then giving yourself a larger timeline. So that's what we've talked about so far. So
Yeah.
much better. Don't risk losing muscle. You can make the process a lot more sustainable than it's already extreme. It's not supposed to be sustainable, but you can still make it more sustainable than it otherwise would have been. And then knowing that stage lean is not the same as gym lean, and then getting a good coach, man. Those are like some very important things as well, which I'm glad we're touching on. With the most underrated one probably being having that guidance, right?
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a good start to this conversation.
Yeah,
Those are some
exactly.
good points. Yeah.
It's true. I would also say, like, as a general rule of thumb, I heard this thing and it says, I think it was from 3DMJ. Now, I don't want to misquote them by any means, but it's something like when you think, like, group of natural bodybuilders who are like really big in the space and coaches, if you think you're lean, give yourself another 4 weeks, man. It's like when you think you're ready, now you could be ready, and sometimes it's not the case. But for a lot of people, it's like when you think you're ready, add 4 weeks to that on
Yeah.
average. Not a hard rule, but like you gotta get lean, man.
Yeah.
Like if that's your
That's a
first,
good point. That's
yeah.
a good point. Especially for your first time, when you think you're lean enough, if you think you're at that stage weight, you've probably got 1, 2, 3 more pounds to go. There's always weight that can come off. That's what I've learned. There's always weight that can come off from somewhere.
Bro. It's so true. It's so true. I agree. I agree. W- What are some other things you'd say? Because I thought of like a few more.
Yeah,
Any
I got a
others come
couple
to your mind?
more. I have one more generic one and then a couple things that kind of fall under it. So
Sure.
I'd say one of the most important things before starting a prep is making sure that any stressors that you have in life are at an absolute minimal. Because one of the biggest killers in a prep is stress, because that leads to cortisol, and that's just going to ruin every single aspect of your prep. It's going to ruin your body's ability to burn fat. It's going to just ruin your overall mood the entire time. I mean, it's one thing to hate your life the last 2 weeks of prep, because that's normal. It's another thing to hate your life like the entire prep, right? You want to reduce as much stress as you can throughout the entire course of your prep.
Very well said. It's true. And the thing that you said about that is because like stress is just something that we cannot, I like how you said reduce, could not eliminate, because we can't
Yeah,
get rid of it. Like that's life. We're human beings. Work, relationships, job, career, this, that. Like stress is just everywhere. But learning how to develop a relationship with stress where you view it through a different lens and you manage it better and you can alleviate it and keep it to a minimum. I think that's so important. Because as you said, life doesn't stop just because you started a prep, man.
Yeah.
Like life
No,
doesn't
life goes
stop.
on.
Like, yeah, if
Prep
you're
is on
working, you're
top of
working.
your life that you're already living.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think one thing to pivot off of what you said is building systems that support your lifestyle.
Okay.
So
So what do you
underrated.
mean? What do you mean by that? Expand.
So I think a lot of the times it's very the same way in fitness. You know how you can have a system for your training. I'm gonna go to the gym at this time on these days of the weeks, and you it's very structured. Like really having systems that set you up for success, systems that are just predictable, that limit decision
Mhm.
fatigue. What am I gonna eat today? Nah, none of that. You either have a structured meal plan or you have macros, right? And you create different foods that you will rotate through consistently. Eliminate as much thought as you can. Another thing,
Yeah.
what time am I training? I go at this time on this day, I go at this time. I don't know, I just train whenever I train. It's like, no, let's create a system to help you manage your stress and your fatigue. Let's try go at the same time every day. Or if we have a schedule that varies, because everyone has different work schedules, what times of the days throughout the week on different days are we going to go? Make it consistent, make it predictable, right? What time am I going to go to bed and wake up? Try keep that consistent. What time am I going to do my cardio if I have cardio? What time am I going to do my steps? What route am I going to take to get my steps in? Like just create as many systems as you can in terms of your workflow too. Like how can we optimize that? Because when you have a system, dude, it's just copy paste from day to day, from week to week to month to month. And
Yeah.
there's so much less thought and voluntary effort that goes into that, less decision fatigue, and as a result, less stress. So
Mhm.
building systems help you alleviate stress and they help you stay consistent because it's not like, oh, what do I expect? You already have a plan. And I like to say predictability breeds consistency.
Yeah. That was very well said.
That's what I would say.
I think, yeah, for sure. I think the better you plan ahead, the better you have a consistent schedule, the less that you have to think about doing anything is probably the most important thing. Because you're already thinking about, you got work, you have financials to take care of, now you have a workout program that you have to be consistent on, you got these meals to hit. If the less you can think about all of these things, the better. So that's why meal prepping is like non-negotiable pretty much. Almost everybody should be meal prepping. That's why having a consistent workout schedule, and if you have different shifts, if you work a different work week every single week, then plan ahead at the beginning of the week. You should be going to your calendar and like blocking off these times that you're training because that should be your non-negotiable time. Nothing should interfere with that because if you're in a prep, that's one of your number one priorities now. You can't half-ass that. So again, planning ahead, very, very important. Just having a schedule and yeah, no, that was good.
Dude, it's so good.
That's
It's
for sure.
almost like, yeah, that advice will save you tons of headaches. And if you have children, you have relationships, like communicating that with them, building systems that support them as well, and letting them know what you're going through, so that you can ask for their support and what the expectations are, and really just creating systems, as you said, that optimize how you operate is so underrated. And that's one thing that I really wish more people knew. Like create some more predictability, create those systems, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
More predictability. That was good.
yeah, more predictability and less variation. Because yeah,
Yeah. Don't be trying to switch things around all the time. Like that's just the worst thing you can do.
right? It can be very stressful.
Consistency.
Consistency, exactly. And I think another underrated one, but I want you to go first because you said you had many other blanket things that fell under yours. Were there any others?
Yeah, so the stress was like the main thing, right? I think another thing that falls under stress, and this is probably the most important and underrated ones that people just don't think about. Before you start a prep, make sure you have your financials in order because competing is not cheap. There are so many expenses that you don't even think about that go into a prep, coaching, if you have a coach, which you should, coaching, food, supplements, obviously gym membership, which you should already have if you're gonna prep. The tanning for the show itself, travel if you have to travel to the show, and then like staying in a hotel if it's not close to home, all of that stuff.
Photos, if you want photos,
Photos, which again, for your first show, you should definitely be getting photos because you're not going to want to forget that experience.
board shorts.
Photos, video package, board shorts. What else? Like, there's so much expenses when it comes to prep and competing.
It's very true.
Yeah,
And especially for the women.
especially
That's
for the woman.
that's even more.
It's probably like 4 times as much as it costs for us.
Dude, yeah, there's someone who pay more than 2 grand on a day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
dude, and my piece of advice too is don't save everything for last minute when it comes to a show registration. Like if you can spread it apart, right? Like I've
yes, yes, yes,
I've done
yes.
that in the past where it's like, oh, it's like two
Well,
weeks out. I'm gonna get everything. I'm gonna get the photos,
you're gonna book
my
your flight, you're gonna book your hotel, the show all in one single day. Your
get
bank
cooked.
account drops $2,500. Like what?
Get cooked. Get cooked. No, so exactly. That's why it's like if you can, number one, just understand that be in a good place. And then if it's something you do want to do, save for it, account for it, budget for it, and go in knowing what numbers or the rough approximates of these things are so you can plan accordingly, right?
Yeah,
Now, if you don't have to get too specific with it, depends on the individual and how like analytical you are, you could literally just look at the amount of times you'll be in a prep and then like find your groceries on average, what those will look like, coaching on average, and then just see what the total would be and then have that in your mind as an expectation. But that's maybe too analytical. Just be prepared as Luke said. So that's an underrated one that's actually not spoken about enough, man.
yeah,
Posing
yeah.
coach, if you have a posing coach, add that in there.
That too, which if you've never competed before, if you don't do at least one posing session with somebody, I mean, and what are you doing?
Okay, so I agree. So the finance one, what else did you have
Finance. Yeah,
on the
so the
prep?
last one that undergoes the whole stress thing is making sure that your relationships in your life are in order as well, because that is extremely important. Prep and bodybuilding already on its own is such an individualized and kind of like lonely sport, really, especially when you're getting those last few weeks. So you want to make sure that the people around you, the people that are closest to you, those relationships are strong because you want those support from the people around you.
These are some gems right now, man. These are some absolute gems. You're so right. Because and the thing is too, just understanding that as Luke said, it is a tough sport. It is very individual. You will have to make some sacrifices and compromises, but explain that. Tell them what you're going through. Like literally bring them along the journey with you. Like you need their support because a good relationship, whether it's friendships or things like that, can make or break your prep experience. So give them clarity and visibility into what you will be doing, what a prep entails, what it looks like. Because once they have some context regarding that, they know what to expect. But at the same time, just because you know prep doesn't mean you need to completely ignore them, be rude to them, be mean to them just because you're tired and hungry and bring your anger out and let your emotions loose on them. Like they don't deserve that. So just remember that. Like treat the people in your life who care for you
Yeah.
well. Like, because they don't deserve that. Because when you're in a prep, you'll be hungry, you'll be tired. We'll get into all this stuff just now. You'll be frustrated, maybe you'll be moody, you'll be irritable. Like, these things are all normal and part of the process, but that doesn't mean you need to let that out on your partner or on your
Yeah.
mom or your dad or your best friend or your cousin or whoever it is, right? Like, they don't deserve that. So just, you know, regulate your emotions. It's very challenging, but I think first things first is let them know what the process will look like and how you will feel and just ask for their support and tell them that you'll do your best to still show up for them based on your capacity and that you'll still make time for them where you can.
Yeah.
And once the prep is done, pay back that relationship debt. That's something Paris, one of my best friends and my coach actually, he phrased it as relationship debt, where once you're out of a prep, you've accumulated some relationship debt, whether it's with your significant other, your friends, your family, your parents, whatever it may be. So you have more energy, pay back that relationship debt and invest in those relationships and continue to nurture them. So when he
Yeah.
said that, I like that phrase stuck with me, and it's really cool,
Those are some really good points.
right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Especially because you got to think these people around you, they have no idea what you're going through. They've
Hmm.
never done it themselves, especially again, once you get into that extreme level of low body fat percentage, your hormones are gonna change. Like you're gonna have feelings that you've probably never felt before in your entire life. And 99% of other people on this planet have not experienced those feelings ever before. So you just got to keep in mind no one else around you knows what you're going through, so you can't expect them to kind of change how they act towards you if you don't let them know. That also being said, you can't let those emotions or the fact that you are in a prep be an excuse to act differently towards other people. You still have to at least try your best to, give them the attention that they need to just not be an asshole, honestly, to other people. It's not an excuse to be a dick to other people. And I know it's hard at sometimes. I mean, you just get agitated and whatnot, but you just gotta try your best to, keep that in mind. They didn't do anything to you. I mean, it's just all you, it's all in your head. That's it.
Very good,
And
like,
then the relationship
advice,
debt. I did like that because I've never heard that term before.
right? Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh? I know. Once
Yeah,
I heard
take
it,
them out to
it
dinner
stuck.
after. I don't
There you
know.
go. Yeah, I take you out to dinner. There you go.
Yeah.
Sushi. Exactly, bro. But yeah, just I like what you said as well. It's no one deserves that, man. Just because you want to prep, it's a choice. You're the one who chose to do that prep. No one's
Yeah.
forcing you to grab your hand and say, "Hey, dude, you need to get so lean. You need to get so peeled and step on stage." No, no one's forcing you to do it. So understand that it is a choice, and your choices, you have to face if there are repercussions of your choices, or you have to, not repercussions, you've got to face the situation because your choices will always have something that comes with them, right? So if you've made the choice to prep, understand what it comes with and deal with it because you made that choice. So don't treat people poorly just because you're in prep, right? It will be hard. You may feel you may be snappy. You may not be perfect, right? Like I've said things sometimes in not blatantly rude, but in a tone that's just, yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, 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 it's fine. We'll do it. Yeah, okay. Like, but then I
Yeah.
didn't mean to say it like that, or I was just very short with people. And that was my first prep especially, but I you can catch yourself, right? Having that emotional regulation, which is what the prep will actually give you as a result of it. You'll learn how to regulate your emotions and manage them a lot better. But it's so important. They don't deserve that, man. So
Yeah.
very well said. Understand that's the case. Um,
Yeah.
but even just like expectations, right? Like you will be hungry, you will be tired, your sleep will get shot. Like, what are some other things, expectations you feel like these people should know? Aside from, let's talk about the process itself, right? Let's talk about the process. What are those expectations? Hunger, fatigue, tiredness, etc.
Well, I mean, I think you just said all of them, like a lot of them, right? You're gonna be, you trust me, your sleep's good. And it's because of your hormones, right? Your hormones tank. So your hormones are gonna affect everything that's going on with your body and in your life. Your energy levels are gonna decrease. You're gonna get brain fog. You're not gonna be able to think clearly. Your sentences aren't going to make sense sometimes. Yeah, you're going to stutter probably. Conversations with your friends, you might feel like kind of going slow. It's hard to respond, to come up with responses, right? Your brain's just going to move in slow motion, honestly. And that's just how it is. Sleep's going to take a hit for sure. You're going to be hungry. That's a definite. You're going to be hungry. Um, in the gym, eventually your strength is going to decrease. It's going to start going down. That might play with games with you mentally, but that's just part of the process. It's going to happen. And when you get in that low body fat, you're going to lose strength. That's how it is. You're going to lose energy in the gym as well. Cardio is going to suck. Um, I don't know what else. What else is there?
You pretty much hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Like those. As you said, part of it is just due to the process and losing body fat, diet fatigue, sleep disruption, appetite higher, ghrelin higher, cortisol. All those things are normal, but um, if you do it correctly, they'll still be present, but you can manage them a lot better with good guidance, right? Because I like to say a prep can either make transform your life for the better or ruin it for the worse,
Yes.
right? It can be
It
the
depends how
most
you,
transformative thing. Go ahead,
yeah,
sorry.
you gotta have the right mindset going to the prep. I mean, use this time to like kind of learn
Yes.
yourself, learn your body, learn how you respond to certain things. Because you're gonna learn a lot more about yourself now than you will ever in your entire life.
Brother, please touch on that. Touch on that. It's so that's like some
Well,
philosophical vibe right there,
I
and
don't
I
know.
couldn't agree with you more.
I don't know how to touch on that. It's just like you're gonna learn how like emotionally like I don't know how to touch on that. Do you know what I mean?
I do. It's sort of like it can be the most transformative thing you ever do in your life because it gives you so much self-awareness and it exposes sort of your patterns. Maybe you're like, oh, I never knew I did that, or that's how I act in this setting,
Mhm.
or it just raises that awareness, right? It can literally change your life forever because you develop this deep understanding of self. Like you really understand yourself on such an intricate level. Your the sense of clarity, awareness, discipline you develop, work ethic you develop, the ability to delay gratification, patience, showing up every single day when you don't feel like it. Like prep can change your life if done correctly. It is so powerful. It is a tool. It's not just bodybuilding, it's a tool for personal development and self-growth. And I will stand on that. It's changed
Yeah.
both our lives, man. We can sit here saying like we are who we are today because of the prep, right? Like it helps a lot. Like it's self-development. It's not just a bodybuilding show. It's it's so much more than that. And once you truly experience it, if done correctly, and I'm gonna really preface this by saying you can do a prep the wrong way and it can ruin your life. Let's say you get a bad coach, right? They have you eating nothing but like two strings of asparagus and like a little bit of chicken. You have zero carbs at all. You're doing 90 minutes on the Stairmaster every single day. Like you can ruin your life, seriously. Like prep has the ability to ruin your life or transform your life forever.
I
Like,
love that.
right?
I love that.
Right?
No, because okay, now because you learn so much more, you know, about yourself, right? You learn how much self-discipline you can have in a prep that you probably never had in any other aspect of your life. You learn kind of what your body is capable of and your mind, what your mind is capable of. And because of that, you might actually realize that you might have a big like life altering shift during prep, thinking like maybe the path that I'm on right now isn't the path that I really want to be on. It honestly might change your life like that. You might realize that you want to do something completely different in your life. And I'm not saying like, oh, now I want to be like a professional bodybuilder or whatever. It can be something completely different, just like a career choice or something like that. Because now you know exactly what your body is and mind is capable of achieving. You have that self-discipline
The confidence.
and you the confidence, yes, and you just might want to push yourself harder outside of prep in every other aspect of your life.
Chills. Chills, bro. You said it.
Chill,
Because
chills.
it's like you show yourself, if I'm capable of doing a prep, and
Exactly.
it sort of shows you that you're not someone who wants to just settle. You really raise your standards. It can make you raise your standards. And you're like, you know what? If I'm excelling in this one area, usually things are not just specific to like one domain. It's like if you do well in one area, then the likelihood of you doing well in other areas can increase. It's not always the case, right? It depends on the person. But usually, if you apply that same level of intention, discipline, work ethic, focus, consistency, as you did in a prep to, let's say, a career, it gives you this belief that, you know what, if I can do this, if I can diet for this amount of time, wake up every day, feel tired, show up, get my workouts in, still go to work, still do my business, still do this, still, do my cardio, eat my food on low calories. I like to say, like, when a phone is on low power mode, if you can still
Yeah.
do everything you need to do and you're operating on low power mode, imagine when you're no longer on low power mode and you translate that to other aspects of your life. As you said, Luke, you can have this life-altering shift that says, I'm not willing to settle, and these are the areas of my life that I was settling, and I'm no longer going to tolerate that standard, and I'm going to raise my standard, and I know I'm meant for more, so I'm going to pursue more. And that's not arrogance, that's not cockiness, that's just self-belief and confidence that the process gives you. It is literally life-changing. It can be, provided that you have the right guidance and you approach it in the right way,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Like you said, prep could kill you or it could change you.
Exactly.
Everything that you learn in prep can also be um like done outside of prep.
Yeah,
If
you
you
can
it
apply it.
goes into every other aspect of your life. And when you think about it like this, if let's say you're working a 9 to 5 job, any job that you're currently working and you have prep on top of that, if you can work that job during a prep, think about what you can do not in prep. Think about how much more you can do while not being in prep, right? You can go for a promotion, you can go for whatever improvements you want in your life, you can go for a different job, different career, you can do whatever you want. I
This
mean,
is some dope stuff.
prep honestly does that to you. It changes your mindset like that.
It really does. Self-development. So as a first-time competitor, understand that this has the ability to make or break your life based off of the guidance you have, and just understand that it will be, if done correctly, as a first timer, one of the most fulfilling things you do. And the sense of just
Yes.
purpose and pride you will receive from the process is honestly life-changing, and it can change your life. So as a first timer, just know that for sure. But
Yeah.
also know that you will get in your own head.
Oh, God, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? Like how we can all get in our own head as a first timer?
Well, like in your head, like how do you mean? Because when you said that, like what I meant, what I'm thinking is like leading up to the show, I would be looking at Instagram, looking at the show, like the other competitors going into the show. And what I've learned is that when you see people online, you look at them, like people that you're about to compete against, and you know that, you see them in like the absolute best version of themselves that they could possibly be. Like, wow, they look absolutely insane. Then when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, I suck. Like, I don't look good, right? Honestly, your mind plays games with you like that. You see yourself as not as like the worst version of yourself possible, and you see others at the best version of themselves possible. But also it's because like you're seeing other people take pump pictures, like post gym in the perfect lighting, right? And then when you're seeing your check-in photos, first thing in the morning, no food, no pump, nothing, like just natural lighting. So you're seeing yourself at your worst version compared to other people at their best version, and you're just comparing yourself to that. So that can play mind games with you. And that's what I was thinking about when you just said that.
Likewise. No, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a blanket term. Like getting in your own head, we can look at we can dissect that through so many different avenues. But as you said, comparison. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not this, am I this, I'm small, I'm this, I'm this. Second of all, looking when you see certain things change in your relationship, like, oh, am I weak? Like, what's going on with me? Like, there's a problem with me
Mhm.
just because of your emotions or just whatever it may be. Your emotions are so volatile that, well, not for all people, but for some people, it can be the case as a first timer because you've not yet fully experienced the process. So your emotions can be very volatile. So just understanding that you'll probably think irrationally a lot of the times. I'm not lean, but you may not be lean, or you may actually be lean. I don't know. But you just will not be thinking as rashly as you could. So just know that that's why it's nice to have a coach or have guidance or have a good support system because you will get into your own head. You will get in your own head sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I wanted to say. And yeah, don't worry about what people are doing, as Luke said, like cool. Try your best to just focus on you and do what you can do and focus on
Yeah.
what you can bring to that stage. Right.
No, it's good. Only focus on yourself. If you can, honestly, like don't look at the Instagram posts. Because you get into that little trend where leading into the show, you'll try to see all the competitors that you're going up against, and you're just doing yourself harm at the end of the day. They just don't do that if you can. Just focus on yourself, focus on bringing your best package to date, because I guarantee your best package, like what you'll actually look like on stage is probably not what you're seeing right now, 2 weeks before show.
No.
And you'll notice that you'll finally realize that once you get like those stage packages and you see yourself and you're like, wow, I actually looked like really good on stage. I didn't realize I looked like that. Or even like at the fun, like at the show when you're backstage, you're getting a pump and you're seeing yourself in that mirror. You're like, damn, you know what? I look good. I look good. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
I
yeah,
do.
your mind plays games with you,
It
and
does.
it's just important to know that that's just prep brain. It's
Yeah.
not actually. what's going on.
Exactly. It's just part of the game. It's just, as you said, it's just part of the process. Um, I think another thing too, dude, is oh, go, you're gonna say something.
Oh no, I was literally going to ask you if there's anything else that you think.
I do. I think, like, what's your reason why? Why do you want to do a prep? Is it because your buddy told you you should do one and you think it's cool? Is it because you generally have an interest in it? Is it because everyone else around you is doing one, so you have FOMO? Like,
Yeah,
why do you want to do a prep?
I
I
think there's
think
many
that's
different
something that
reasons.
people just say, oh, it's cool to do. I just
Yeah,
want to say I've done it. Like, cool. If you just want to say you've done it, and that's great. But if you want to say, I want to say I've done it and show myself that I can take myself to extremes and still stand out on top and be successful and just gain discipline and gain all these things from a prep, great. But if your reason for doing a prep is not strong enough, you will quit.
yeah.
You
Yeah, you have
can
to have a
quit.
strong enough reason. And there's many reasons to do a prep. There's many right reasons to do a prep, and there's many wrong reasons to do
Yeah.
prep.
Sure.
I mean, when did my first prep, I think my reasoning was I felt like my life was kind of stalled and I was in a rut and I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of wanted to push myself through something that my body's never been through, right? I wanted to push myself to an extreme to really show myself that I'm capable
Yes.
of doing something like that.
See, that's powerful. I love your story, man. Your story is inspiring. It is. And it's like you showed yourself. Yours was like character development. Like we were in a rut and you're like, you know what? I want to change this. And by doing this, I know if I can see this journey through on the other side of it, I'm going to be a totally different person. And that's going to help me in every other aspect of my life. Right?
Exactly.
So you used it as like a form of personal development, but you also just found it fun and you liked training and you liked like cool stuff, right? Like you think, oh, this will be fun. I've seen people do it. I want to do it. So it doesn't have to be one reason. It can be like multiple too.
Yes.
But I'm with you. It still needs to be strong enough. Like mine was the same as you. I'd been following bodybuilding, following men's physique loosely. I'd been training for like muscle growth for the longest time. So I was like, I want to see what I'll look like peeled as hell. Like I actually want to take my physique to the next level and see what that
Yeah.
look like. At the same time, I know it's going to be tough. So I want to show myself that I can do it and gain all of the benefits a prep can give you. More confidence, discipline, work ethic, raise your standards, more clarity, better self-awareness, better emotional regulation. I wanted all of those things. I wanted to reap those benefits from prep. And then third, I just said, this is fun as hell. So see my physique, personal development, and just have fun. Those were my main reasons for it, man. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is cool. I love this stuff. So you can have multiple reasons, but they need to be strong enough. If it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I think I'll do it because the guy at my gym says I should do it. And then you realize, oh man, like I just did it for them, not because I truly wanted to, and not because I had generally had an interest in, or I did it out of peer pressure to do it because all my friends are doing it, so I don't want to be the odd one out. Mm-mm. I reckon you need to
No.
have a reason.
You need a good enough reason to keep you motivated throughout the lows through the prep. And
Exactly.
honestly, like, if you just want to compete, if you just want to compete because you simply think like you'll be good at it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a
No.
good enough reason. If you think you're going to be a good at bodybuilding and this is something like you want to test out to see if you are good and something you can pursue, that's definitely a good enough reason. But there's a lot of wrong reasons to
What would you
do
say some of
bodybuilding.
those are?
Like you said, if someone else told you that you should,
Oh,
right? But you have no like desire to actually do something like that. Especially then if it's your first time competing, I mean like if someone tells you you should do this because you'll be good at it, but you have no desire to do it, and then you get
facts.
into a prep and realize just how hard it is when something's that hard and you didn't even want to do it in the first place, you're not going to follow through with it.
At all.
What's another reason not to do it?
Oh, dude. We talked about, well, as a coping mechanism. This is a bit deep. But man, if you're like, and I mean this in the kindest way possible, but like, I think for some, they can use prep as a way of like forgetting real life, like coping with like pains or struggles. But the thing is, you still have to confront those on the other side, right? So
Yeah,
sometimes people use prep as like a way to put on blinders and ignore some of
that's so
life
true.
stresses. And
Yeah.
I want to be very careful the way I articulate myself here. I'm not saying by any means that you should not prep because of that. But I just think it can be problematic for some people, or it can actually do more harm than good. Thinking that prep should be used as like a band-aid to cope with emotions that are actually holding weight on you, because it could actually make it worse, right? So I just don't think that that's one thing I'd say.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's such a
but
good
it's so
point.
subjective.
Exactly. I again, like I
Subjective.
think I think it depends because again, like it can maybe it will help you, but
Yeah,
it all depends, right? It's
it's
got to be for the right reason. It is a weird subject, but
it's weird. It's weird. So that one, yeah, I do get that. Um, what else? I think, yeah, just having a good reason, man, is important. That's such a big one,
yeah.
especially when hopping into your first show. And then just understanding that, what was I gonna say? I had something. Um, it was something off you said, like, yeah, if you think you're good at it and you think you can do good, for sure. Because there's some people who, dude, they have physiques who are amazing, but they've never done a
Mhm.
prep. So there's technically first-time competitors, but they've been training for like 10 years and they look crazy. So for them, it could be totally different, right? But at the same time, don't wait till you're ready. And this is what I mean by this. Some people have really good physiques and they're like, I'm not ready. Maybe when I'm 35, maybe when I'm 45, maybe when I'm this. It's like, dude, do you think I was fully ready to do a first prep when I did a prep? I'd been training for 7 years and I could have kept delaying it and say, no, sorry, I had 2024. I'd been training for almost like, I think it was like 8.5 years or 9 years, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if I kept saying, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready, I need more muscle, you can always build more muscle.
Yeah.
Always, right? Like that's something you can do, but don't just delay starting a prep, even though you want to do one. This is if you want to do one, just for the sake of saying, I'm not ready yet. Because trust me,
Yeah.
if you're gonna say you're gonna wait till you're ready, you're probably gonna be waiting for the rest of your life. Now,
Yeah.
is there a time and place where you actually may not be ready? Like if you've been training for 1 year and you don't have a foundation of muscle mass, like yeah, for sure. 2 years, yeah, like for sure. There's a time and place for sure. But if you've been training consistently, I'm not saying if you're like 1 year into the gym, do a prep. Like, no, you're not ready.
No.
It depends. But don't just wait. Oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. And use that as an excuse or because it's an insecurity or a reason for you not to do it because you'll just be holding yourself back. Just take action,
Yeah.
collect the data, get the feedback, and make the improvements so you can come back better. Because if you never
Yeah.
start, how are you going to improve? And I heard this quote that says, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Mm,
That's what Alex Hormozy says. You don't have to be great
yeah.
to start, but you have to start to be great. So start. Don't wait till
Bars.
you're ready. Because if you know what I mean.
No, for sure. Especially because I kind of did the same thing, honestly. Before I competed for the first year, my 5 years prior to that, I was always telling myself, yeah, one day I'll compete. I just don't know when. And I kept putting it off. And then finally I made the decision to do it, which was, again, one of the best decisions of my life. So stop waiting to make that decision. Especially like you don't have to think once you compete, that's it, you're over. Now you have to keep competing. Compete once, get the feedback. If you aren't ready, now you'll know. Then you
Yes.
can make the improvements. Then you can take another 2 years off if you need to make the improvement. But if you don't compete, you'll never know.
Facts. Facts.
There's a lot of people that don't compete and keep putting it off that should be competing. And then there's a lot of people that jump into prep too soon when they should.
Very well said. Yeah.
If you have years under your belt in the gym and you feel like if you have a good idea that, you have some muscle mass on you, if you feel like you're ready and like you should just hop into it. Just do one show, see how it goes. Just
Yeah.
stop putting it off because then you'll never know.
True. And if you want to just don't do a very competitive show, like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, are you someone who's competitive with it or you just want to do it? Like everyone's different. But dude, you're right. I like how you said that.
And then again, with the people that there's nothing wrong with competing for your first time, like even when you're not ready, because you don't know,
Nothing
like you
wrong
just
with
want to
that.
step on stage. There's nothing wrong.
True.
Just get on stage for the first time, get the experience. But if
Exactly.
you get the feedback, and obviously, I mean, even looking at yourself compared to the other competitors, if it's clear that you're not on the same level and you don't have the muscle mass, stop competing. that's when you take some time off, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, depending like where you are at. But take the time off then, really build muscles. Just stop rushing yourself into the onto the stage.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And as you said, as a first-time competitor, yeah, it's like if you want to get that experience, do it. It's not like this is a hard rule saying not to, but it's just we're just saying
Mhm.
that get the data. Like just don't
Yeah,
delay it thinking that there's going to be a perfect time because the perfect time doesn't exist. A
that's
better
right.
time exists, but the perfect time doesn't. There are better times to do things and there are worse times to do things. But is there a perfect time? No, the stars are not going to align. Like new year, new me. It's the perfect like nah, 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 nah,
That's
nah.
bullshit. That's the worst time to start.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, don't delay it to a certain date, right? Per se, context. But I like this, man.
Yeah.
It's so true. Oh, one more. Practice
Okay.
your posing.
Yes. Practice your posing.
Oh my gosh.
Get a posing coach. You follow a bunch of posing coaches online. Honestly, that's what I did. That was helpful. Just get those tips from them. And practice, practice, practice. Not just like once a week, but like every single day. Yeah.
Practice.
Posing is probably going to be the hardest part. On show day, you don't realize how hard posing is on stage until you actually do it. It's for some reason, even when you're just practicing at home or whatever in the mirror for like 5 minutes, it can feel pretty easy, right? But then when you're on stage and posing, 5 minutes feels like 30 seconds.
Facts. Like you and I, we battled it out in 2024.
That was the
Dude,
probably again one of the longest, that was still up there for one of the longest times I've been on stage with you. That was a long time, bro. They held us for long.
I was
I want
like,
to look that back. Do you know how long it was? Did you ever look at that? It felt like 10 minutes, which is a long time for anybody that's like, oh, just 10 minutes. No, that's a long ass time.
oh, excuse me, I need water. I think it was between 8 to 10.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro. I was
Because it's
hurting.
yeah, because when you think about it, it's like 8 to 10 minutes, generally, not a long time. 8 to 10 minutes of holding poses, like,
Yeah, bro.
and they're going for rounds. Man, that is tough, bro.
It's not just posing, man. It's like people don't think about the first timers don't think about like the breathing that goes into it. It's hard to do while you're posing for that long. It's an art, honestly. It's
Agreed.
tough.
Have good, like, really practice your breathing, as Luke said, your posing, your midsection control, refine it. Like, really, really practice your posing. Do not neglect it. If you have a great physique and you display it poorly, you will get docked.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen people who have objectively, I don't know, a better physique, so physiques that could win versus other
yeah,
people, and the only differing factor or differentiator was the fact that they just did not control their posing. So the person who
yeah.
had better posing, who still had a good physique, beat the person who had a phenomenal physique, but was just presenting it poorly. Like posing is so underrated. Don't neglect it.
No,
Don't
no.
neglect it.
Posing practice, you got to think about it as the same level as like your workout training, your workout routine.
Ooh, I
It
like
should
that.
be a non-negotiable every single day, at least 10 minutes, depend like when you go into a show, like closer to the show, 30 minutes a day sometimes. You need that conditioning. Um, because when you're on stage, again, it goes like if 5 minutes will feel like 30 seconds and it hurts a lot more than you think.
That's great, dude. I like how you said it's a non-negotiable. The same way you get your meals in, the
Non-negotiable.
same way you train, the same way you sleep, you drink your water. It's the exact same way you should be doing your posing. I agree, bro.
Yeah.
I agree. And there's so many layers we could take this, but I think that that's generally like some good tips for first-time competitors and
Yeah.
things to expect, you know? And if they feel like there's anything we missed, for those of you who may be veterans or experienced people, please drop some in the comments so that if first-time competitors come and they watch this pod, they can also read some of the comments and hear what you have to say. Because we just thought of these things off the top of our head. We didn't really come into this with a plan. We never really do. We just speak our mind. That's why we like
Yeah.
to keep it raw and authentic. But
Yeah.
if there are other things that you think, based on your experience, or you just think that could add value to a first-time competitor, don't hesitate to let us know below because we'd love to hear it as well. You know, just give back and help them.
Yeah. But also on top of this entire conversation, we talked about a lot of the hard things in prep. Let's just make it clear that show day, stepping on that stage, those final couple minutes that you get on stage for the first ever time is probably going to be the best day of your life. It was on, I still remember it, especially your first show, you never forget it.
You don't.
For the first time, going through all that entire prep, pushing yourself to that extreme, and then having it shown on stage is honestly, the feeling is actually indescribable. I've never felt anything like that before in my entire life. So just be prepared on show day for your first time, like live in the moment.
Embrace it. Enjoy it.
Yep.
Don't be grumpy. Don't be like, you'll be tired for sure, whatever, but you'll probably be filled with adrenaline and excitement. As Luke said. Thanks for sharing that, bro. Because, yeah, we don't want you to hear all the hard things and then be disincentivized from a prep. No, like as we said, it can be one of the most fulfilling and life-changing and transformative things you ever do. And it's truly so fun. Like it's you can have a lot of fun with it, really.
Yeah.
So don't be discouraged. We just want to give you the reality. It's not just all hard things. It's not just bad. There are more goods that can come out of a prep, honestly. So have
Yeah.
fun, enjoy it. If you do decide to do it, it can change your life. Get good guidance. And as Luke said, enjoy the moment. Embrace the suck. Those periods where you may be down bad, just find joy in them. Know that you're growing, right? Know that you're
Yeah.
getting better. Know that you're moving closer towards your goals. You're inching closer towards them. Like, so have fun. Really have fun. Enjoy the process. Milk it. That's what I have to say.
Milk it.
There you go.
Boom. Bars. Great
Boom.
podcast.
I love this. Seriously, this is a good pod. This is a good pod.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, drop a comment, and we can't wait for the next one.
No needles.
No needles. Stay natty. Stay natty.
Stay natty. Peace.